Officer. It's my privileged task to introduce Padma Shri Dr. Nipm Singh, who has spent his entire life awakening students, academia, corporate heads and policy makers to raise their excellence. As a consultant, Dr. Nipm Singh worked with more than 200 CEOs in India and abroad and conducted more than 100 retreats for the top management of private and public sector organizations and multinational corporations. Dr. Nipm Singh was entrusted with the distinction of organizing and directing the first retreat of the central ministers as part of late Sri Rajiv Gandhi's initiative to develop ministers as transformational leaders and change masters. As an adept administrator with a great vision and path-breaking also innovative methods, Dr. Nipm Singh brought fortunes to both MDI and IIM Lucknow, which earned him the repute of Midas Touch Director. Dr. Singh authored 7 academically reputed books and 3 of them won him awards. He has 60 research papers published in national and international journals to his credit. Being a great orator, he addressed various audiences in various countries like Holland, France, Germany, Greece, Russia, United Kingdom, USA, Thailand, Mauritius, Egypt, and so on. The President of India conferred on him the prestigious Padma Shri in 2003 for his distinguished service. In December 2006, the leading management school in Moscow, MIRBIS, honored him as Global Thought Leader for 2006-2007. He was the first Asian to have walked on Global Hall of Fame, has been a recipient of many prestigious awards, and to mention a very few: AIMA Academic Leadership Award in 2009, and he was the first recipient of Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan Memorial Award, Teacher of Teachers. Lifetime Achievement Award by Swami Vivekananda Foundation in 2009. And 2006, California USA Outstanding Entrepreneur Award, 2002 Outstanding CEO Chief Executive Officer, 2001 National HRD Award, 1998 Best Director Award of Indian Management Schools, 1993 Best Motivating Professors IIM Bangalore Award. With these few words, now I request Sri Sumesh Das Gupta to felicitate Dr. Nipm Singh.
Dr. Sri Garu, a great human dynamo, I call her. Whenever I come, a real icon, a role models, not only for the youth. Subramaniam ji, Somesh ji, Spal Kanwarji, Siva Ramakrishna, Mr. Sahu, and Rao Garu, and very, very distinguished audience, very great audience, very appreciative audience in terms of clapping and clapping all the time. I have been here right from morning because I decided to have the flavor of this conference. Though my secretary said, why don't you catch the morning flight? And I told my secretary that, look, Vizag has been one place where I spent number of days and number of nights. And once my wife said, why don't you buy a house in Vizag? And then I also told my PS that I am basically untried. I spent 13 years of my life in the administrative staff college of India, and both the sons have been married by beautiful unmarried girls. And friends, that's why coming to Andhra Pradesh, I think it creates a very different kind of passion in my mind, and that's why I'm here. Minister is here, and that's why I will begin with a very nostalgic mindset. As a child, I always experienced sun rising in the east. Great sense of evoking. And I, in my mind, but for 45 years, I always experienced sun has been rising from the west. We used to look towards the west. But dear friends, today I can say with a great sense of pride that sun has again started rising in the east. And that is why this conference is a very landmark conference in our thinking. It's found in a very powerful statement, demographic dividend. And I was fortunate to fly with the minister last evening, and I said, can India again become a guru and a thought leader and a philosopher when the world would be looking towards India rather than India would be looking towards the West and other parts of the world? I could see the very brightness on her face, and she smiled. And when she smiles, she agrees. That's what I'm saying. Madam, I have divided my talk into three parts. The first part is a contextualization. Thousand years back, Buddha made a very powerful statement. It's a context that determines and assigns meaning to strategy, actions, and the words. And that's why understanding context is important. After sketching, portraying, and highlighting the contextual contours, I would like to go to what business are we in? The HR professionals, we must understand the kind of business we are in. And third one, how we can play our role very effectively to be HR professionals. About the contextualization, something comes to my mind about, first of all, I will talk something about the business. About 20 years back, I'm reminded of a business scenario in this country, which was like a driving sedan car on American highway. 175 miles, no anxiety, no fear. And that was my experience for about 7 years in America. Now when I see the business scenario, how it has changed, it has drastically changed. Mind-boggling changes have taken place. I feel that now I'm driving my sedan car somewhere in Chandni Chowk. And when I see the red light of Chandni Chowk, I stop my car. Lot of cars around me, honking and honking, though they are not moving. Business world is full of honking today. Even Parliament is full of honking today. All of a sudden, I see green light, and I start my car driving. But from somewhere, Maruti 800 comes, dents my car, it starts moving in Chandni Chowk. I want to catch that car. I miserably failed. For the first time in business history, I see the smaller players are denting the larger players. Apple dented Hewlett-Packard, IBM. Mitchell dented Arcelor. Tata's dented Jaguar and Chorus. Kumar Mangalam Birla dented Nolis. I think that you must keep in your mind you can dent anyone, even very small. That is the business scenario today. The second business scenario which I see, very fascinating business scenario and painful scenario, Darwinian naked dance for the first time. Early in the morning, tiger thinking how tiger can run faster than deer, otherwise tiger will die of hunger. The deer also thinking early in the morning how the deer can die. How can I run faster than the tiger, otherwise I will die. Speed for speed. Relevance of speed, and that's why the Prime Minister has been talking about. Think about speed. Don't stall many things which you want to do. Political differences may be there, but at least for the larger cause of the country, we should develop some kind of consensus how to run faster than others. Third thing is I see the emergence of Zen set. When I was a small child, I always thought my father is the organ of all the wisdom. And as a young child, when I used to ask a question, my father used to say, I don't know. My quick reply used to be, not worth knowing. Even father doesn't know. Electronic era began, got married, they started buying all the electronic gadgets. Must have spoiled being an army engineer, about half a dozen electronic gadgets. And Mrs. Singh used to say, don't touch it. I know that you'll spoil. However, one day I heard my younger son talking to my wife, Mom, you'll be glad to know that even Daddy knows how to operate these gadgets. So from Daddy knows everything, I could see that even Daddy knows. Now I have got my grandchildren saying that grandchild is very close to the grandpa, and grandpa is equally close to grandchild. They can share anything. My grandchild was with me and said, Grandpa, Papa doesn't know many things. This is the kind of generation we are going to manage. How difficult it is. Can we compete with them through the power of mind? Perhaps not. Skill? Not. Because a lot of obsolescence is taking place about the knowledge and about the technology. You must ask a question. What mindset grandpa has got to win the minds of the grandchildren? Perhaps that may work in the organization. That may work in the organization. So we'll talk about slightly more about that. The last point which I would like to say, and that's an extremely important point, ma'am, I see tremendous amount of dehumanization. I feel extremely pained. I was sitting next to my colleague, next room to my colleague, on his birthday. I sent SMS, many happy returns of the day. I feel extremely pained. Can't I pick up my phone, or can't I use my phone and say many happy returns of the day? Or can I walk to his room and I say many happy returns of the day? Where the humanity is going, I feel extremely pained, extremely anguished in all that. I think that HR professionals, we must examine our mind, and I may come slightly on that. Let me come back about what business are you in? I could see right from morning a lot of sharing of techniques about this one and that one and that one. I think that we must ask a question, what business are we in? And the technique becomes relevant or not relevant. I define we are in the business of grooming human beings. So I see a philosophy part. And why do I see a philosophy part about 360-degree appraisal, about the competency mapping, about assessment center? Sometimes I say, are we stretching the whole techniques too far? Because Arthi Smriti, there is a sloka in the Arthi Smriti, the sloka goes something like this, that Amantram Akshara Nasti, there is not even a single alphabet which doesn't have the power of mantra. Amantram Akshara Nasti, Nasti Monamanasiham, there is not even a single plant which doesn't have medicinal value. Every plant has medicinal value. And the third line is the most fascinating and meaningful line. Do we believe in that? First of all, HR people must ask a question, do they believe in that? Ayagyo Pursanasti. There is not even a single human being who is in competition with human beings. What do we do through assessment center? Through 360 degree of placement? What do we do? Of course, a human being becomes incompetent if you ask him or her to do something where the person doesn't have the aptitude. I always say, don't ask a rabbit to fly, because rabbit can't fly. Rabbit has got competency to run. Don't ask a bird to run, because bird can simply fly and fly excellently, soaring high and high. I see in the organization 40 years of my life rubbing my shoulders with managers. We ask a bird to run, a rabbit to fly. We get into trouble. Please think about this one. Don't classify. Many times I have heard, he has got only 2 years in the company, so don't send him for training program. I say, what kind of message you are giving to people? At least let him retire, let him have a very graceful retirement, a graceful feeling that I was looked after, I was valued, I was cared by my organization. And you know, those fellows who retire, number one, they don't have many work in the organization. So there is plenty of time to malign about the organization. It's very dangerous, even if you think about it in terms of being selfish. Having said that, let me try to find out the first thing. There is one mantra in business paradigm that begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. What is begin with the end in mind? You are in the business of grooming and building people. Ask first question, what kind of people we need in this country? What kind of leaders we need in this country? What kind of managers we need in this country to compete globally, to excel, to thrive, and to win? Because there is no place for non-winners in the corporate world, in the global world. What could I have done? I did a book, very recently about these 7 great leaders in this country. And I think that I will talk something about what kind of leaders we need in this country. The first leader whom we need, who can romance with limitless growth. Because once you romance, there is abundance of energy in you. You never feel tired. That's why can we have a mindset where we are never satisfied with whatever contributions we are making? Are we continuously raising our bar of performance? Are we continuously shifting our goalposts? Are we creating Olympians who would be participating in the Olympiad, break the records, before it comes back home, start thinking, how I am going to break my own record? We need today that kind of leaders if we want to become a global leader. And that's why I think that in India, we must build a sense of mind among the people that we are great and we are going to be the winner. And that's why many times I always give example that you ask a question to Europe and America, how are you? Like excited, excellent, feeling very great. Ask a question to India, how are you? Replies, आपकी दुआ से गाड़ी चल रही है, किसी तरीके से जिंदा है. How to make people get out from that kind of feeling? Energy doesn't lie in the mind. It lies in the feeling. I think that's why when I go to Sumitra will not mind, I go to Bengal, I always say, never argue a Bengali. You give 5 arguments that this will have to be done, they will give 100 arguments how it can be done. But put your hand on the shoulder of a Bengali and say, you are the only guy who can do it. I said, हो जाएगा साहब. So Hopona becomes Hodega. I think that build that minds, build that passion, build that competitive spirit. That's business we are in. Second one, we require opportunity sensing mind. Opportunity sensing mind sees the opportunities in the problems. Non-opportunity sensing mind sees problems in the opportunities. How can we see problems as opportunities? And that's why when I talk with the political thought leaders and the bureaucrats, and when they start grumbling about this country, I always say, you are lucky. You've got plenty of opportunities. See the problems as opportunities. And I always use the word 360 radar-like opportunity sensing mindset. And I think that I'm reminded of Sidhu, he made a very powerful statement. Opportunity is not the door, my dear friends, only for those who open the door. I think opportunity is not the door. But have you got the mindset to open the door? If you don't have mindset to open the door, opportunities will never enter in your house. So how problems and opportunity, there can be synchronicity. That is extremely important. That kind of mindset we require. Third one, I always say that you are in the business of wealth creation. You are not in the business of finance. You are not in the business of marketing. You are not in the business of HR. You are in the business of wealth creation. Can we develop a holistic mindset? Can we develop fully integrated mindset where we ask a question, am I going to create wealth? And can we make people move from silo mindset to holistic mindset? From silo vision, tunnel vision to the holistic vision. That's extremely important. That's the kind of leaders we require, and I am talking about this one, that keep in your mind. Another kind of leaders we require that who can connect horizon with the ground reality, who can fly 40,000 feet and can also effortlessly move on the ground. Many times, Madame, we say that many politicians may be existing for a longer period in the politics, they have forgotten the ground reality. How to connect horizon with the ground reality? How people can fly 40,000 feet and still walk on the ground? And Vivekananda made a very powerful statement, thought without action doesn't have any value. However, actions without thought is also a futile exercise. Can we bring thought and action together? So that we can groom leaders who can create wealth for the country, who can create wealth for the globe, who can create wealth for the organization. I think that we don't need managers, we don't need only leaders now. If you want to become a global player, because when I go to Shanghai and when I go to other places, I feel sometimes now that what can be done. So I say that we don't need managers, we need leaders who have got transformational passion. Gandhi came to Lucknow. His first lecture was non-cooperation and non-cooperation and non-violence in Lucknow. That's where he began. Acharya Kriplani was alive. He was professor at Lucknow University. So when Gandhi's lecture was over, he moved to Gandhi and said, Mr. Gandhi, I can tell you something, Mr. Gandhi, that you may be a great authority on Bible, Quran and Gita, Mr. Gandhi. But Mr. Gandhi, you don't have a sense of history. History doesn't have a single example where a nation got freedom without bloodshed and without violence. And you are talking about non-cooperation and non-violence. Let me tell you, Mr. Gandhi, you may be a great authority on Bible, Quran and Gita, but Mr. Gandhi, you don't have a sense of history. Gandhi smiled and he said something very interesting. Mr. Professor of History, you are very right that Gandhi doesn't have a sense of history. Mr. Professor of History, you are very right that Gandhi doesn't have a sense of history. But Mr. Professor of History, you must understand, Gandhi believes in creating history rather than being trapped by the history. Friends, we need history creators in this country. We need history creator leaders. who says, since it's impossible, that's why I'm here. I have to convert impossibility into the possibility. And I used to write couplet once upon a time, so I wrote that लोग कहते हैं बदलता है जमाना अक्सर, लोग कहते हैं बदलता है जमाना अक्सर, लीडर वह है जो जमाने को बदल देता है. I think that right now in this country, for the globe, I think that when I had this Paris Chamber of Commerce, and I said it's very simple, where the company's performance has been going down, but the CEO's salary has been going up. If you try to see it happen in all the Western countries, it's not happen in our country. And that's why their HR people can play very, very important role. Can really play very, very important role. How to awaken the soul part? And that's why when people were talking something about integrity, honesty, it is not the cognitive mind that talks about the integrity and transparency. It's a power of soul that talks about the integrity, honesty, and the transparency. It's a power of soul. In the last 500 years, the power of minds must have been increased by 5,000 times. This much I can tell you. In the last 500 years, already I can say the power of soul has gone down at least 100 times. Who talks about the power of soul? When Gandhi was thrown out in Johannesburg in the night from the train, lucky that he was not MBA. Lucky that he was not MBA. Had he been MBA, Mr. Sivaramakrishna, he could have said decision tree analysis. Analytics, you know, that he could have that kind of. First level of outcome, the second level of outcome, and the third level of outcome. So much paralysis for the analysis in that. Gandhi could listen. Gandhi could listen. Silence voice of his heart. Silence voice of his soul. And Gandhi said, move. Otherwise, who could have started such kind of mammoth non-cooperation and movement in South Africa? It was the power of soul. And that's why Nelson Mandela, for about 27 years he was in the jail. Only 2 lines made him survive. I am the captain, I am the master of my destiny. I am the master of my destiny, and I am captain of my soul. How we can groom students, how we can groom leaders, who can be the captain of their soul, who can also have the confidence that they are the master of their destiny, they are the master of their fate. Friends, that is the kind of business we are in. Now I must tell you that if I take birth 100 times, I always pray, God, make me teacher. I always say, make me the HR professionals. Because I am a philosopher. I can save the destiny of my country. I can save the destiny of my organization. I can save the destiny of my managers.